Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another Doctor Who video. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's Dismal Disney now too, right? Because it's on Disney Plus. So
yeah, but we don't know what the viewership is. I do know that by now, if it was epically amazing, we would have had press releases from Disney about the best watched, most watched, whatever on a whatever night at this like 2 a.m. in the morning to 3 a.m. in the morning on this platform. You know, they would have put something out about it because eventually we do get numbers out of like Nielsen or what was the other one? There's another one. Samba TV.
Yeah.
So we'll get some kind of idea eventually. But right now, they're not even saying anything, which makes me kind of like,
Yeah, we're going to talk about the ratings because, again, episode 3, we've had another big drop in viewership, overnight viewership. We don't have the +7 TV. We don't have the +7 for whatever their iPlayer or whatever is. We don't know what the Disney Plus numbers are, but already the media is trying to do damage control that, we don't understand. We, the fans, do not understand how to look at those numbers and interpret those numbers.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is funny, though. Angry fans openly misinterpret Doctor Who viewership data, calling the series woke and unwatchable despite praise from critics. Well, there's been a lot of movies that got praise from critics, but the movie was dog crap. We've also seen a lot of films that the critics didn't like and the audiences did.
Yeah, so what does that have to do with the numbers? You know what I'm saying? Like, the numbers don't lie. Of course, unless you're one of those people that believe numbers are racist. Are the numbers racist because this is the first black gay doctor?
Maybe you should touch grass.
Maybe they should touch grass. Yes, people have been touching grass. They've been touching it, feeling it, groping it. And more people are touching grass just like you told them to do. And they're not watching Doctor Who. So let's talk about this and talk about how the fans misunderstand the numbers. The fans can't math.
Okay, so let me ask you: is that the critics had thought it was crap? Would it be the critics that were wrong?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah,
because according to this person, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So the numbers for episode 3 per Doctor Who TV.co.uk, which keeps track of the Doctor Who numbers because somebody has to. Episode 3 dropped another 0.30 something million. We went from 2.6 to 2.4 for episode 2 to 2.04.
So 360,000 or something like that?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, episode 3, I have heard, is a significant improvement, but I think we owe that to Stephen Moffat. Moffat came back to write an episode and they said, oh my God, this one actually felt like Doctor Who. But that's the only episode he's writing this season. So
yeah,
we're going to go right back
to
where we're at.
So basically when Davies is Davies one who wrote the other ones?
Yes.
When Davies writes them, he's all giggling about how clever he is. He's Mr. Clever. But people don't like it. But when you bring Moffat in and he writes one, people like it. So,
yeah, people said it was actually pretty decent. They said and I kind of suspected this. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to be honest, I might actually check out that episode. Because they said that Ncuti Gatwa, when he's given the proper material to work with, i.e. his script actually is reflective of the Doctor.
It's not just agenda shit?
It's not just agenda shit. It's not cheeky. It's not when he's actually just playing the Doctor. They said he's actually okay. And it's kind of like what happened with Capaldi, but that was on Moffat's watch.
Well, I was going to say Moffat was also, hey, did I mention I'm a lesbian? I'm a lesbian because I'm Bill.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah,
lesbian.
That was Bill. I think he was told. I think Moffat was told he had to do that. I think he was like, yes, your next campaign, you got to stop it with all these white women. You got to bring in a more diverse person. So can't just be one kind of diverse. You got to be at least 2 or more kinds of diverse. So you can't just have a black companion. You can't just have a gay companion.
You have to have more checkboxes.
You got to have more. So anyway, let's talk about this. Did I say please subscribe? I think I did say please.
Yeah, because I said woohoo.
So let's go out to these articles, right? It's so funny. This one is actually coming from the Radio Times, which is always doing damage control for Doctor Who.
Oh, I remember them. Yes.
Yes. So this is just a couple of days ago. This is after the ratings dropped. Doctor Who's overnight ratings aren't the full story, but they still matter. But things are different this time around.
How do they matter if they're not the full story? I thought they don't matter.
It's not the full story. So they're talking about the deal with Disney. It was previously announced that for the first time, new episodes will debut on the iPlayer at midnight to coincide with them dropping around the world on Disney+. So I believe, if I recall correctly, and I'm not from the UK, but I think Doctor Who was on at like 6 or 7 o'clock their time in the UK on Saturday nights. And they used to run it here on BBC America at like 7 or 8 o'clock on Saturday nights. But, we had like a 5-hour time difference. It was a controversial move, to say the least, but hardly surprising in the streaming age as viewing habits change, for better or worse. Our favorite shows must change with them. No, they don't have to. So they said, the overnight ratings changed because of this. They said now linear ratings have hardly been an accurate measure of success for a long time.
I'm sorry.
What?
That just means
ratings don't really matter.
Translation. Numbers don't matter. It's the message, which means no one watched your shitty show. And the thing is, people with the money, it now matters.
It does matter.
Matters. They want to make sure that they're actually paying for something they're making money from, people are watching. It matters now. And if it's Disney, it's going to matter.
Yeah, they said fewer and fewer people are watching live TV. You would think that's obvious, although has someone tried telling the various news outlets using the viewing figures for a cheap headline to trash the new season? Has somebody tried telling them that? Of course, the 2.6 million and 2.4 million overnight rating figures for Space Babies and the Devil's Core will end up being just a fraction of the total.
Yeah, but we don't know that yet. Like,
we don't know
we'll
that
see.
yet.
The thing is, what I do know is Disney, if it was, off the charts, amazing, great, fantastic numbers, to prove a point, they would have put a press release out about it.
They would have.
They always do.
Now, I believe that the numbers are going to be better, the +7 numbers. Yeah, but we also saw.
I agree.
We also saw what happened with the specials, though, too, where they actually held off on releasing any of the overnights. As I recall correctly, they held off on the numbers until they had the +7 to make it look better. Mm-hmm. And even then, it was David Tennant, and it was only like 5 or 6 million or something. That's for David Tennant coming back. It was like,
and then they kept dropping.
And they kept dropping after the first episode. They're like, oh yeah, hey, they just dressed the Doctor down for using the wrong pronouns. We're out. There are plenty of other reasons, guys. Some have said the good weather meant people weren't inside watching Doctor Who. Some have blamed the month of May for being TV's dead spot. There are hundreds of reasons why the ratings ended up as they are.
There's hundreds of reasons why it is, other than the fact that it's just suck and everybody doesn't want to watch it. That can't possibly be a reason, guys. The 100 other reasons is why. The reason that they're standing for cannot be the reason.
That doesn't mean the ratings don't matter. For one thing, it's pretty incredible that they weren't the lowest ever.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's sad. I'm sorry. It wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the worst ever. It wasn't quite as bad. But people are going to look.
Shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This was a couple days ago. This was before episode 3's numbers dropped. People were going to tune in because it's a new Doctor. They always tune in for a new Doctor, and then they kind of get a feel for whether or not they're going to like this Doctor, and then they decide to stay on board or tune out. We saw this with Jodie Whittaker, too.
I was going to say, speaking of Jodie Whittaker, it was the Radio Times that people were getting so pissed and standing for it, and every week the numbers dropped.
Yeah.
And dropped. Oh, it's fine. It's all fine here. It's just those hateful bigots. And dropped. And dropped. Numbers don't matter, guys. And dropped. Yeah, I'm just saying. It was Radio Times was like getting so ass mad about it before.
Down after the jump here, after the graphic, after the photo, they said slightly less sentimentally, and they're talking about how it's nice that everybody still sits down and watches TV together. It says it's going to be incredibly important for the higher ups at the BBC and Disney to see who's watching, how many are watching, and how they're watching. The ratings for those who watched on iPlayer won't be out for a few more days. They're unveiled 7 days after broadcast, but I have no doubt they'll be big. Especially if that 10 million figure for Got Was First Episode, the Christmas special, is anything to go by.
Yeah, that was, I don't think it will be. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be.
Yes, we could be wrong. But right now, it's not looking too good. I'm just saying. Plus, when you break a habit, right, they moved the time slot for Doctor Who. When you break a habit and you make a fundamental change to a show or a comic book or a video game series, whatever, it makes it very easy to jump off. So if they're like, well, this new Doctor Who looks pretty trash anyway, and it's going to be on at like midnight, I'm not staying up with the kids till midnight. So no, I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm done. I'm out.
This is the most dick sucking, dick riding bullshit ever.
The show or the article about the show?
This last this paragraph here.
Doctor Who has never been more about dick riding than it is right now in its 60-year history.
This paragraph, though, let's face it, ignoring the naysayers and trolls. Because, guys, if you don't like it, it's not because you might have valid reasons not to like it. It's because you're automatically a naysayer and troll since the Radio Times, who is dick riding so hard, it's ridiculous. Doctor Who is an hugely exciting point in its history. Oh, be careful. They might mistake you for Trump there. Having turned 60, it's got a fresh new feel thanks to a significant increase in budget, a showrunner who doesn't just know the ropes. He basically created them. And two powerhouses of acting as its lead stars.
I don't think it's going to hit 10 million. I don't even know if it's going to hit 5 million. I could be wrong.
It did that, but then didn't it drop? Like, not,
Well, yeah, just they haven't showed the +7. But
they're talking like to get 10 million, you're talking that all that stuff had to be 7 million plus.
4 times the overnight viewer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, if Disney wants to keep this show going, they will find a way to massage the numbers.
They always do.
But yeah, so should we take those 2.6 and 2.4 million figures and declare them the be-all, end-all? Absolutely not. They should be taken with a gigantic handful of salt.
No, they should be taken seriously, but they're just part of the picture, which is true.
They are part of the picture.
But that's still part of the picture. What? They should be taken with a handful of salt until then if the numbers come out and they're not great. Then suddenly they're going to add those together and then there'll be more than a handful of salt, won't they?
It'll be a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, though? Because they're saying that now, expecting these big numbers, but they don't get those big numbers. Say it comes in at 6 million or whatever. They'll be like, well, that plus that. But you just got done saying they're not important. So which is it?
It must have been some beautiful weather this weekend, too, because a lot more people left.
Yeah. I'm
just saying, like, I think the fans know how to math correctly. So this is another one. This has come from Fiction Horizon. I have not heard of this site. It's been floating around. This is angry fans openly misinterpret Doctor Who viewership data, calling the series woke and unwatchable. So they go on about, they're like, the first episode and second episode had 2.6 million viewers and 2.4. While these numbers are certainly low, they're not the complete numbers, as we are about to see.
Oh, as you're about to see. Okay, but we don't have the numbers yet, so go ahead.
Okay, tell me how it works there, Fiction Horizon. These two are some of the lowest overnight numbers for the series, with Legend of the Sea Devils only getting an overnight audience of 2.2 million in 2022, thus setting an infamous record. But the viewership numbers from 2022 were correct and complete, as BBC was the only source where one could watch the series. Basically, they're like, but now we have Disney Plus in the BBC iPlayer. So many people have the opportunity to watch the series on those platforms. So what does it mean?
It's not untrue. I mean, I'm sure they're going to go up. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be what they think it is. And I'm sure if it starts out higher numbers, what's going to be where the proof's going to be in the pudding is, let's check the numbers in 2 months.
Right.
That's what you need to see where it's trending.
Is the trend downward? Because if the trend is consistently week after week downward, usually how it works with Doctor Who is you can kind of see like the mid-season break, they usually get a spike, or if they're like, oh, the Daleks are going to be in this episode, they'll get a spike or something. But if the overall trend is down, we start dipping into the 1.5 overnight area, it's gonna be like, damn. Right.
That's it. I mean, they're right. You can't tell it all from this. I agree. I want to see it in 2 or 3 months and see how each episode performs, episode over episode. And then we'll have an actual idea of what the real numbers are.
So they're basically just saying, hey, Disney Plus, you have to take Disney Plus in consideration. There's certainly a small number of fans of the series who have opted to see the episodes via those platforms. So the low ratings are only a partial picture and do not reflect the actual numbers, which are probably going to be released later. This, of course, hasn't stopped angry fans, mostly conservatives and anti-woke crusaders, to label the series as dead. Some of the comments from social media networks are as follows.
Well, wait, the reason people aren't watching is because you had your people in charge telling them not to.
Literally, the people in charge of the show said, if you don't like the direction of the show, go touch grass, you bigot. We don't want you. Literally, I think it was Jinx Monsoon, the drag queen that plays the maestro, was like, Yeah, for every one bigot we lose, we're going to gain 5 more people.
Where?
From where? From Disney Plus.
Who's it? TikTok.
From TikTok. Yeah, exactly. I think they honestly think that's where these people are going to come from. We have already reported that the series has been a victim of review bombing by angry fans who haven't even seen the episodes.
Well, I'm sure it's been the victim of review boosting by a bunch of people too.
At the same time, the critics are absolutely amazed by the new series, as we have reported, and there are many fans who share their opinions, but what about the claims from the comments above?
So basically, all the far-left critics love it.
So, as we have explained above, the current season's 2-episode premiere received the lowest overnight ratings in the show's history is false. That 2022 episode received lower ratings in both of these episodes, and secondly, the numbers released are only partial. So when we consider that fact, the actual numbers are much greater.
Who said that it was the lowest ever?
Some people said that it's a series low or near a series low.
Well, it wasn't the series low, which I knew that. I even knew that. And I
they were a lot lower than they were.
Yeah, they're lower than they were, but they weren't the lowest they've been.
As for the claim that the cast and crew told the old Doctor Who fans to stop watching in favor of the modern audience after some thorough fact-checking.
Okay. From a place called Fiction Horizon, yeah.
We were unable to find any claim that pushes away old fans in favor of a new audience.
We've covered plenty of them. So right now they're living up to their name. It's a bunch of fiction.
This is a bunch of fiction. Jinx Monsoon flat out said, basically for every bigot we lose, we're going to get 5 more progressive
Basically, anytime
viewers.
anybody has a concern about it, you're racist bigot. Don't watch. It's all about race.
Shuyi Gatwa told people to go touch grass, right? That was what I'm saying. It's like,
we can't find anything. You're full of shit. It's Fiction Horizon for a reason.
There's no mention of old fans or anything. So the claim made by Twitter user Golden Age Geeks, which is the source of the above quote comment, is a blatant lie. We can understand that some people don't like the new direction of the series, absolutely, but they're not forced to watch it. Blatantly lying and misrepresenting interpretation.
They flat out have said.
They did.
Don't watch it. If you have a problem with it, you're a bigot. Don't watch it.
Go watch
They have totally been alluding to that.
Go watch our previous videos. They literally said, we don't want the bigots watching, and go touch grass, and if it's not for you, don't watch, whatever. Oh my God.
Nobody tells Davies no.
We have fact-checked and proven these claims wrong. So you can definitely rely on us at
site called Fiction Horizon
to provide you with the most reliable information on any topic related to pop culture. We will be following this story in the future as well.
Who?
Well, okay. I'll tell you who. They are from, check this out. They're from Croatia. It's a couple of brothers from Croatia. Who are really into Western pop culture, I guess. And you can write for them if you want to.
What are the 2 brands?
Comic Basics and Fiction Horizon.
And between 2 of them, they get 1 million monthly visitors.
Yes.
Okay. Never heard of them.
I've never heard of them either. But yeah, so all these writers look like they're also from Croatia. Not that I have anything against anybody in Croatia, by the way. I'm just saying.
But they're fact checking.
But they're fact checking. I'm just saying.
I'm just telling you guys. Maybe if you're trying to be a news source, calling yourself Fiction Horizon is probably not a good idea.
Oh, it's interesting. It said Disney Plus. This is one of the commenters, Neil. Said you might, since you're fact checking, Disney Plus does not carry Doctor Who in the UK. So this time the series is available on both Disney Plus and BBC iPlayer for the first time. Correction would be the series is available in the UK on BBC iPlayer. So many people had whatever. Yeah,
that's true.
So basically, they're relying on Disney Plus. That is pretty much the American audience, right?
Here, wait. Finally, there's some very specific comments by Tennant, Gatwa, Davies, and Jinx Monsoon that some people have taken exception to.
Yes.
I'm surprised you have not seen them. Basically, telling fans they are not sure whether the new series is for them, so don't watch. Go outside and touch grass. Don't hit the door on your way out, or fuck off. It's an odd way to encourage viewers to stick with the show. Yeah. Combine that with the mistake of allowing streaming for 17 hours prior to transmission, which will hit the overnights, and you've set yourself up for bad publicity and open yourself up to accusations they just told you to go touch grass. So we did. Exactly. We fact-checked it. Fiction Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fact-check this. It's my middle finger, but you can't see it.
Stu says, the cast have literally stated to switch off if you don't like it. We did. An article now deleted actually stated that it's not for straight white men. For a journalist, you don't do much research. And 0.4 difference to lowest viewing figures is nothing to be proud of. Davies is imploding and doubling down. The whole show has Stockholm syndrome.
But you gotta hear of it. This Fiction Horizon no one ever heard of. They fact check it with fiction. With facts.
Fiction Horizon. Maybe that's the joke, and I'm just not getting it. Something is lost in translation here. But there we go, guys. It'll be interesting
Horizon said so.
It will be interesting to see because I think I vaguely remember hearing that it's not available on Disney Plus in the UK.
Right,
and UK is the biggest
that.
audience.
They do that. Like they've done that before with other countries too. Like if they have Disney Plus offering and they have it through and they're working with somebody else on some kind of show, it would go through whatever's offered there. There are some things that were like back when they were starting to put Disney Plus in places. If Disney Plus wasn't there yet, or they had something else in play first, it would go to that before it would go to Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they had a deal in play, it would stay with those people, and Disney Plus wouldn't run it until later on if they got, the ownership of it or whatever. So that's not unusual. It's not surprising. And I'm sure the numbers are going to be higher because they are correct in the fact that we don't have the BBC, what do they call it, iPlayer or whatever it is, and we don't have the Disney Plus numbers yet. But I don't think they're going to be fantastic. And again, even if they are not too bad to start, I want to see it I wouldn't claim victory until you've seen it for 2 months. And then if the numbers, go back up, well then yes, of course, then that means that it's doing well. But if the numbers keep dropping, episode after episode, that's something different. I honestly don't know. I mean, my gut is telling me that whoever was left after the Jodie Whittaker era of the old school fans checked out. Mm-hmm. That's what my gut is telling me, because I'm not seeing anybody who's excited about this show except for 20-somethings that don't know shit about Doctor Who. Mostly it's just critics telling me I'm a terrible person if I don't want to watch it. I'm like, you know what? I don't care what you think anymore. I just don't give two shits. I
remember Doctor Who was such a big deal. Even here in the States, new Doctor Who was such a big deal 12 years ago that there were all kinds of YouTube channels talking about fan theories, and they were doing really well, and everybody was talking about, oh my god, is this character, and who's in the astronaut suit, and all these theories, because everybody was watching this show, and now nobody cares. Nobody cares. And whatever. I mean, I guess it's just throw it on the pile. Another dead franchise. What the hell? I'm used to it at this point. Pretty much everything.
Yeah, they all have one thing in common. I'm just saying.
Yes. Absolutely. The message. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.